Thank you.
And they are YouTubers.
Not every interview ends well. Sometimes a celebrity just walks out. These are the most iconic interview walkouts over the years. Some celebrities shut down, some push back, and others try to stay composed until one moment changes everything. Just like when Robert Downey Jr. sat down with Christian and Guru-Murthy to promote Avengers Age of Ultron. But instead of discussing the movie, the interviewer shifted the focus to Downey's troubled past.
What I'd really like to ask you about a quote you gave to the New York Times. And I don't want to pry, so if you don't want to talk about it, that's fine. But what you said to the New York Times once was, doesn't it? I mean, does that mean you're not a liberal, or that you came out of prison not being a liberal?
Are we promoting a movie?
The tension was unmistakable. Guru-Murthy ignored the signs and kept pushing, leading to Downey's breaking point.
The reason I'm asking about the past is that you've talked in other interviews again about your relationship with your father and the role of all of that in the dark periods you entered and taking drugs and drinking and all of that. And I just wondered whether you think you're free of all of that?
Seconds later, Downey stood up, calmly removed his mic, and walked away.
Or whether that's still something.
I'm sorry, I really don't. What are we doing?
Well, I'm just asking questions, that's all.
Right.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you guys.
Are you... Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, you're right. Thank you.
Do you...
You seem okay, it's just getting a little dinosaur in your...
No, look, I don't want to do that.
Thank you.
But Downey wasn't the only one who felt an interview turn too negative.
You're being inappropriate. You really are. So I'm
What?
not going to talk about...
I'm asking a question. Is she leaving because I asked what motivated the settlement? Did you hear the question?
No, I can't hear you.
During a CNN interview about her book, the interviewer kept making passive-aggressive comments about Joan River's comedic style, calling it mean-spirited and offensive.
You've got best-selling books, you sell out on stage, even with your fashion critiquing. While it's very mean in some ways, people can't wait to hear what you have to say. Really? It's not mean?
You can. It's not mean. I tell the truth. I'm sure I say the same things that all your viewers say to their friends sitting next to them on the couch.
That's why people love you. But they also know that you have some shock value to you. I mean, on the cover of your book, you're wearing a fur, and you knew that there would probably be animal rights activists.
This whole interview is becoming a defensive interview.
No!
Are you wearing leather shoes?
Yeah,
shut up.
I'm talking...
You know what I mean? I don't want to hear. You're wearing fur. You're wearing leather shoes.
I'm not an activist, but I'm saying
You're eating chicken.
Yeah.
You're eating meat. I don't want to hear this nonsense. Come to me with a paper belt, and I'll talk to you.
But
Joan's mood shifted instantly, and just like that, she ripped off her mic and stormed out.
just saying, no way.
I'm going. I really am going because all you have done is negative.
No.
All you have done is negative. I haven't heard I make people laugh for 50 years. I am put on earth to make people laugh. My book is funny. I wear fur that was killed 15 years ago. I work for animal rights. Stop it with, and you do this, and you're mean, and you're that. You are not the one to interview a person who does humor. Sorry.
Are we serious?
Joan was never one to hold back, and this interview proved that if she wasn't having fun, she wasn't sticking around. But not every walkout comes from frustration. Some happen when a celebrity refuses to answer certain questions, like Christine O'Donnell, who sat down with Piers Morgan for what was supposed to be a simple book promotion. But things quickly shifted when Morgan brought up a controversial topic, something she had no interest in discussing.
Right now, I'm curious about whether you support gay marriage.
You're borderline being a little bit rude. You know, I obviously want to talk about the issues that I choose to talk about in the book.
Do you answer that question in the book?
I talk about my religious beliefs, yeah. I absolutely
do you talk about gay marriage in the book?
What relevance is that right now? Is there a piece of legislation? I mean, I shouldn't be voting on anything.
As she dodged the question, Morgan kept pushing until O'Donnell's frustration boiled over.
Why are you being so weird about this?
I'm not being weird about this, Pierce. I'm not running for office. I'm not promoting a legislative agenda. I'm promoting the policies that I lay out in the book that are mostly fiscal, that are mostly constitutional. That's why I agreed to come on your show. That's what I want to talk about. I'm not being weird. You're being a little rude.
Then, after a brief back and forth, she suddenly got up and walked out, leaving Morgan stunned.
I'm being rather charming and respectful. I'm just asking you questions based on your own public statements and now what you've written in your own book. It's hardly rude to ask you that, surely.
Well, don't you think as a host, if I say this is what I want to talk about, that's what we should address?
Not really, no. You're a politician.
Yeah, okay, I'm being pulled away. You know, we turned down another interview for this.
Where are you going?
Are we off? Are we done?
I'm not. I'm still here.
Some guests walk out when they feel trapped in an unfair conversation, but others storm out when an interviewer gets way too aggressive.
I've said enough about this. Let's move on.
Let me ask you this one thing,
though. Let's move on, okay? Honestly, I'm ready. I'm not going to get attacked here. You're here, so I'm done with this. Next.
I'm not attacking you.
No, but honestly,
I'm just.
You're a very nice woman, but you're starting to get to the point. It's obviously just a hatchet job here. So I'm kind of pretty much ready to move on.
Jordan Belfort, the real-life Wolf of Wall Street, sat down for an interview with 60 Minutes Australia. Belfort was no stranger to controversy, but when journalist Liz Hayes pressed him about hiding money in Australia, things turned hostile.
You have an oral contract with your management, the Fordham Company. Is that an attempt to hide your income?
Next question.
Then, without warning, an off-camera voice abruptly cut the interview short.
That guy was going to start chiming really quickly. We've been audited.
I think you can air what you want here out of this interview. It's done. Oh my God, you got a lot of nerve, boy. I'll tell you. Honestly, really. Honestly.
Why
really,
can't I
that
ask
is
these
honestly,
questions?
and I was told this was a friendly, nice interview, and no one has ever treated me as disrespectfully as you have, really. Okay.
Not all walkouts happen because of heated arguments. Sometimes they're just awkward train wrecks that can't be salvaged. In 2015, Justin Bieber appeared on a Spanish radio show, but things quickly turned uncomfortable. Translation delays and awkwardly phrased questions left Bieber looking disengaged from the start. Without saying a word, he simply stood up and walked out.
They got that. Come with us. Come with us.
Similarly, when Rita Ora sat down for a routine interview with the Associated Press, everything seemed fine until the interviewer brought up her past relationship with Calvin Harris.
There's been a lot of rumors that between Calvin Harris and not releasing some of your stuff.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Questions about personal relationships are often a favorite for reporters, but a source of annoyance for celebrities. Such was the case for Robert Pattinson during an interview with Ryan Seacrest, where he was asked about his relationship with Kristen Stewart.
What do you say to your fans who are desperate to know about you and your co-star Kristen? What?
But this time, it wasn't the celebrity who chose to leave. His publicist stepped in and within seconds physically pulled him away, cutting the interview short on live TV.
What can you tell them about it?
I can tell them to watch the movie.
We can't ask that question?
Movie.
Thank you.
Pattinson's interview was cut short before it got awkward, but not every celebrity gets a quick walkout. Some are pinned down by relentless questioning, forced to endure rising tension until they finally snap. When former pro wrestler and Minnesota Governor Jesse Ventura appeared on Opie and Anthony, the debate ended up in a full-on shouting match with comedian Jim Norton.
First, I feel we proved it, you feel we didn't. You also feel that fucking Bush was behind 9/11, so we're always going to disagree.
Hey, don't put fucking words in my mouth.
You feel that the U.S. government was behind it,
How
and
is
Bush
that
was at the
from-
head of the
I
U.S.
didn't
government.
say that.
The conversation started with a discussion about the U.S. military, but Norton, who is known for his no-filter approach, quickly clashed with Ventura's views. The tension built rapidly as Ventura tried to explain his stance, but Norton kept cutting him off and getting louder.
Everywhere, the U.S. military should never be dying for other countries. I don't care
Korea.
what happens.
Get 'em out.
Fuck them. I don't care if Kim Jong-il takes this out. That's not my business. I just think that if we are attacked, we have the right to want our military to respond. So that's not some warmonger.
Jesse just sits and looks at Jimmy.
Why?
Awkwardly.
That was a fair point I just made. You were wrong when you said that.
I don't know, I didn't listen.
You just talk over everybody. Holy, you're a big guy and you talk
I
loud.
talked over you.
Yes,
You're just now yelling at me because I'm not talking.
Then, after 20 minutes of arguing, Ventura snapped.
I don't believe in the Constitution.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Jess.
Governor.
You always just sulk and walk away. Why?
No,
you
I'm
put
done.
words in my
Hey,
mouth.
there's a fucking guy here telling me I got a schedule,
You're
asshole.
using dirty language, asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Bye, tough guy.
Bye, tough guy.
And thanks for your service to our country.
You're welcome. Thanks for touching me with your fucking stupid riff-raff fucking Rocky Horror hairdo. You're bigger than me and stronger than me, so what? I don't give a shit. You want to beat me up, go ahead. I'm not going to fight a guy like you. That means nothing to me.
I know.
While some walkouts come from heated debates, others happen when an interviewer crosses a deeply personal line, like when Naomi Campbell was put on the spot about a scandal she wanted to forget.
Received a diamond from
I
Charles.
didn't receive a diamond, and I'm not going to speak about that. Thank you very much. And I'm not.
Trying to stay composed, Campbell shut it down immediately, but the reporter wouldn't drop it. Within seconds, she stood up, ended the conversation, and walked away.
Did you have dinner, though, with Charles Taylor?
I had dinner with Nelson Mandela. Thank you very much.
And did his men bring you a diamond? You know, a diamond in the rough, sort of a large diamond?
No, we're not answering these questions.
Well, we've been told that you didn't help the prosecution sort of in this very important case.
Sorry. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
But her exit wasn't completely silent. As she made her way out, she knocked over a camera, making it crystal clear that she wasn't just leaving, she was freeze.
Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Some celebrities walk out in frustration, others storm off in anger, but a few, like R. Kelly, go out in complete meltdown mode.
The next question is something negative out of your mouth. With all due respect, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Okay.
R. Kelly had agreed to appear on HuffPost Live to promote his latest album, but instead of talking about his music, the interviewer kept steering the conversation toward his declining album sales and personal life.
You know, this album, you're right in, I guess, asking for that support in the sense that album sales wise, it's not been selling as well as Black Panties. Why do you think that is? So would you say that you have a healthy relationship with sex? Sex is mentioned frequently in your lyrics. In many of the songs you talk about having sex with women, multiple women. Would you say that you have a healthy relationship with sex and that is reflected musically?
As the questions became more pointed, Kelly's frustration grew visible.
Lyrics.
This is a deposition. This is not about R. Kelly. This is not about music. This is not about someone who works hard on his music who has an album out. This is about trying to interrogate me, and this is about, disrespect. And I'm going to sit here.
Mr. Kelly, I don't believe I'm Mr. Kelly, I don't believe I'm disrespecting you. I asked you a very specific question about your lyrics.
Your intelligence, not mine.
I asked you a very specific question about your music and your lyrics.
Well, if you don't think you're disrespecting me, then that's just, like I say, the level of your intelligence, not mine.
Okay.
But I respect it.
I'm going to ask about
I respect that you have a job.
But the interviewer didn't back down and kept pressing. Kelly's body language became tense. Finally, he stormed off the set, leaving the interviewer stunned in silence.
What do you say to the fans, your fans who don't want to buy your music?
I'm not going to allow you to do that, but I love you. I love my
Okay,
fans,
I have a video question for you from a fan.
No video questions for me because this interview is over.
Okay, well, Mr. K, thank you very much for coming to HuffPost. I'm not answering my questions,
Thank you so much.
But thank
You're so
you for
beautiful.
being
Thank
here.
you so much. Thank you.
Don't have
Some celebrities walk out in quiet defiance. Some argue before storming off, but the most iconic walks out happen when they reach their breaking point, forced to confront tough questions they refuse to answer, like what happened to LeBron James after Game 1 of the 2018 NBA Finals.
This is probably the most frustrated or disappointed you've been coming off a finals game, knowing that you were right there and you had many opportunities to end. Is this probably more frustrating you ever been after a loss?
His team, the Cleveland Cavaliers, had just suffered a devastating loss, largely due to a monumental mistake by teammate J.R. Smith, who seemed to forget the score in the final seconds of regulation.
Listening to everybody's reaction to the play at the end with JR getting the rebound, there's still confusion about whether JR thought the game was tied or whether he thought you guys were ahead. From where you stood on the court and from talking to him after the play, what's your reaction to it? What's your version?
What do you mean, what's my version?
LeBron tried to stay composed, but the questions didn't stop, just repeating the same.
Did he think that the game was tied, or did he think that you guys had it salted away?
How do I know that?
Or did you discuss it at all with him at the end of the play?
No. They asked me if I talked to JR about it. I said no already. I don't know what JR was thinking. I don't know the question you're trying to ask.
I was just trying to see if you knew exactly what his state of mind was. Did he think that you guys had it won, or did he think he was trying to make a play?
After a long, tense silence, LeBron decided it was time to walk out.
Or did he think he was trying to make a play? Not sure.
What do you mean I'm not sure? No, I don't know his state of mind.
Did you know if he knew the score?
Thank you.
LeBron James chose to leave quietly when he'd had enough, while Donald Trump took the opposite approach.
I don't have to discredit you.
But that's what you told me.
You've discredited yourself.
The 47th U.S. president, known for media clashes, ended a CBS 60 Minutes interview on his terms.
I didn't want to have this kind of angry.
Of course you did.
No, I didn't.
Of course you did.
No, I didn't.
Well, then you brought up a lot of subjects that
Well, I said
were
I'm going to ask you
inappropriately brought
tough
up.
questions.
They were inappropriately brought up right from the beginning. No, your first question was, this is going to be tough questions. Your first statement was, are you ready for tough questions?
Are you?
That's no way to talk. It's no way to talk.
As the interviewer pressed on, Trump abruptly waved them off, making it clear he was done talking.
I think we have enough of an interview here, Hope. Okay, that's enough. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go meet for 2 seconds, okay? Thanks. I'll see you in a little while. Thanks.
Be careful.
Trump's exit was a power move, but for Sarah, Duchess of York, her exit wasn't about control. It was about panic when she realized she couldn't talk her way out of what came next.
The book has already been released, and the thing is, I'm not going to go down to this point. I'm going to answer your questions, but that's done. It's finished. I've answered it. Thank you very much.
During an interview with 60 Minutes Australia, Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, was being questioned about her alleged involvement in a bribery scandal. The journalist didn't just ask tough questions. They had video evidence to back them up.
I mean, did you take the money? At one stage you had $40,000 cash sitting in front of you. Did you take it?
Absolutely, yes. And it was given to me, and I got it in the car and then returned it straight away.
Once the scandal broke?
As soon as I knew it was a scandal, not once it broke, Michael. But don't try and trick me now, because I'm not going to play this game. Delete that bit. John, can you just delete it?
But as the interviewer kept pressing, her discomfort became undeniable. Then came the moment she lost all composure.
Breakup has it been?
What more can I say? What more can I say?
The biggest.
You can't possibly... Yeah. You can't possibly... of course it has.
How has it affected...
Remember. What's she called? Cindy. Yeah. I'm going to take 5 minutes.
I'm sorry?
No, nothing. I'm just going to take 5 minutes.
From awkward tension to full-on meltdowns, these moments prove that some interviews don't just go off the rails, they completely fall apart. Which walkout shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more wild celebrity moments.